pushing up.
Yeah, Complexity are afraid to try and get aggressive, and that's exactly what they're doing. And you can see Rogue and Snipe down, they're just going to let this all happen above them. They're quite happy to see exchange.
Certainly, whether it got in their heads, it certainly got into the strat. You heard that that they maybe should have gone drill, as the team that they thought originally was flying drill actually was going on to Lava Fisher, so might have been able to get that split beacon. But in the end, we got to take a look here at Bow Down. They are inside the bottom of this thermal area, trying to win some battles here, only knocked in turns.
Inside that Gibraltar bubble, and now we're going to see the portal coming out, and this is where I talk about how important the Wraiths are on the rotation. Can you find your teammates a safe spot? Essentially, you have your team's game in your hands. You need to keep them safe, but it looks like he's been spotted out, and he's just run into trouble.
And that's why you saw Petty Boss get the purple earlier. He's now able to retreat. Likely you heard him saying, absolutely do not take this port, as it is not safe. They're going to have to look into a plan B here. They're instead going to continue to move up and also take the zip that we just saw get thrown down by the Happy Campers team. They'll fly in. Scissors is in trouble. Bubble does go down. Fury will go down as well alongside it. Phony and Scissors desperately trying to get a few heals off. They're going to need to work together here. Good damage coming in from the R9, but looks like a Wraith is going to come in and join the party. They need to be careful. Scissor trying to make something happen. It's a miracle zip out. Woo! And somehow is able to find cover for just a moment now, only half HP. Gets a sell off for just a second. No, that will be them out. Happy Campers, they will be eliminated. 12 squads left just like that.
Yeah, Happy Campers getting eliminated, like you mentioned, and the Pathfinder zipping into pocket of space, and you probably thought he was going to be comfortable for just a few seconds, but eliminated immediately. Looking at the kill feed now, and Rogue are picking up kills. Everyone is starting to drop as this ring closes in. Round number 4 is about to be over. Things are about to get spicy.
Yeah, here's Rocker, Teen, and Crust. Fisher's now the XE United guys sitting on triple purples, and now with some great positioning here as well. Thermite went down, but in a strange angle, does not do any damage there, so they're going to have to continue watching that front door as well. That PK is still out and going to be able to lock down that area for them momentarily.
Yeah, and Rocker obviously a new addition to this lineup as well after replacing the Lyric, so a little bit of team cohesion got to be found, but we know how talented these players are from what they've achieved already, and with these PK shots indicating just that as well. That's going to be another player taken down. Helping goes down to the hands of Crust, and now he's going to retreat back. KP on the board here for Crust and the boys. Also still in the kill feed as well. I believe there's a Kraber and a Mastiff in the hands of 2 of the Complexity players. So 2 huge gold weapons to pick up on a map drop for those guys means that they might have an opportunity to push and create an opening for themselves. But looking at Rocker, Teen, and Crust, and they're holding down a pretty solid position. One of the only buildings left in this circle, so they can play nice and slow. They can bide their time and try and pick off kills as they come to them.
Now with just 4 squads left, so just to keep track of everyone, we do have the Rogue side, Complexity up top on the roofs, TSM of course still in play, and a 4th squad potentially partial. Actually, excuse me, certainly partial based on the player count.
So now with teams all finding a position, it's a case of who wants to poke first, who wants to try and land a big PK shot, who wants to try and land that Mastiff shot. Do you try and hold on? As we see, Lou is the man who does have that Mastiff set up top. He's going to have gun shield up as well on that Gibraltar, so he's getting in a prime position if anyone dares to poke him to hit the shots. And I talked about mechanical ability. It's very unlikely if someone is to show themselves right now to Lou that he is going to miss this shot.
This is the time where would love to hear Team Comms. Cannot wait to go back and see if I can catch, if they don't delete their scrim VODs, exactly what's going on here. But here's that pre-portal I was talking about. Sweet now tracing that and getting that ready for some late game action. By the way, that red did go to snipe down that Evo shield fully charged. And now, right now, a push actually coming out on the roof. That's going to be Complexity pushing up.
Yeah, Complexity are afraid to try and get aggressive, and that's exactly what they're doing. And you can see Rogue and Snipe down, they're just going to let this all happen above them. They're quite happy to see exchanges of kills in the feed. And that, as we move towards the end circle, Andy, Complexity, they look like they could be in trouble here.
And Monsoon, last 2 alive, they're able to pick up the remaining kills. They won that 3 versus 3 up top, and that resulted in a win. Nice shot to the face right there for Monsoon, as he was just looking for the last remaining members, and ultimately it was Complexity that ended up on top with the first place finish. Taking a look at the correct Game 1 results, our apologies for the error there before. Fishers, despite getting second place, actually outplaced with a 13-kill game from Rogue. 12 kills from Complexity. This is night and day from what we saw in Europe, as mentioned, Hadzik. Very similar to online tournament number 3, where we saw Complexity drop, I think, 17 or 18 in game number 1. Rogue and Complexity combined, 25 kills.
TSM sitting pretty over on the other side of Dome, and you'll see turns finding Fat from Ninja. But talking about how he had the Kraber last game, went down unfortunately. TSM not able to get the placements they wanted early, but in the contest, not too slow of a start for sure. Flatline, R99, pretty decently equipped, but really the gold shield is the difference, and oh my goodness gracious. We talk about the flatline being effective. It's got some of the highest damage per bullet in Apex Legends. You can see why just right there. You have to understand that these teams are waiting for it, and that pressure, that split second, may be enough for them to get the upper edge advantage as far as damage, and so you are on the back foot. Flatline spray from Clarify and Solafide, they're just going to have to try to armor swap quickly so they don't die to any unsuspected stuff. He'll switch back and, of course, get that med kit off, but close one there. Definitely taking a little bit of damage as much as they're giving it.
That's a huge one, taking out of 2/3 of Liquid.
Professional play to lands. They've all been all over the place. And
yeah,
right
Petty
now,
Boss himself. Petty Boss himself, he's been in every single online finals. And he is aptly named the ALGS point farmers. He has gotten so many of them. Right now, they are going to get that Gibraltar ultimate coming out now, as they're trying to clear out their back, but on board with Wildebeest now, he's got himself that red Evo shield.
And that is so good. 2 red Evo shields to the name, but it's not going to stop with a charge rifle hitting a little bit of damage. He's going to back off as well and just try to hide while his huge frame as the Gibraltar.
Solafide now making the push onto Team Skirt, was able to just bully them out this time around on board. Donald Trump, as they are trying to make sure they secure this rooftop, but he gets knocked.
Oh man, and that's big damage as well. Z Davis obviously just trying to find the best way in and out. Both of his teammates gone, and he looks like he may follow suit. He gets a little bit of damage and some help, but it goes down to the staircase, and the fight doesn't end in his favor. It's Bronzy and the boys Smile from Smile to help clean that one up. So 9 squads left. Things starting to get a little more intense here as the flatline. Oh, and the Anvil receiver comes out from Wildebeest. I like it.
On the hunt with a very strong position. They've got the wall to their back, and so all they have to do is watch north and honestly just farm up the KP. This is their game to win, I believe. They've got 2 red Evo shields right now. They've got positional advantage up against every other team. They need to just rack up all these kill points as they can.
And look at this. Liquid Fanker goes down to Solafide, and Clarify and the rest of the boys looking to find some answers. They're going to send in with the EVA 8. We've seen this gun so much more today, Jamerson, than we have in previous ALGS, and Pride still missing so many shots, but I think they're going to get the down.
And yeah, they're going to be able to hold this position now, but it's Rogue here on the outer edge on the northwest side, spotting out one. Got a good PK hit, but that one's only 11 this time around. He does have the backup, though. They're getting low, but it looks like he might have it here.
He swapped. He got it. Oh, my God. Dropped with the swap, and they are just precariously trying to stay alive. He knows one tick of that Gibraltar defensive bombardment will kill him, and it drops him, but he must have a res shield here. It looks like actually it's sniped down with the res shield, so he's going to try to get alive. That may be dangerous because that may come back to haunt that team. And you have the G7 Scout with a golden barrel. Will it matter? Can he hit his shots? Headshots will be preferable here because all the damage as fast as you can get it is going to make the difference. There's 2 big Evo shields on both sides of these 2 teams with decent positions. You've got Solafide on the backside. You've got On the Hunt holding it down from behind the corner, and Rogue trying to make their way in, and it seems like they will be content to hold it here at least. No downs yet. All 3 teams still remaining.
On the Hunt still getting a little bit antsy, though. I don't want them peeking out now from behind this cover. They know that they do have a team on the rocks to their right, another team on the other side of the wall here, but this is where things have been turned on its table. Now
3 great teams in contention. Potentially take first place after this.
Again, very bold move coming out from Impulsive Dream.
Oh, they're going.
And Solafide are trying to take advantage of it. Did a lot of damage. It's going to force him back, but they have plenty of time to reset here.
That looked like a very risky play, and it started to get people moving as well. I think they're just trying to test each other. It is a bit of a standoff in Rogue. They say, okay, come over here. Let's see who can stand longer. They get 2 downs there. Snipe down falls thanks to Mental, and everyone on Solafide looking to clutch this one up. And On the Hunt is certainly now being hunted. Solafide Pride, he's just going to back off and pop his Void so that he can stay safe in the midst of all this chaos.
Again, it's about that first team that makes a move, and it was on the hunt.
And rock, paper, scissors, tit for tat in shots here. Every team had a chance to reset, gain their health back, and ultimately Solafide was the one that kind of pushed up, recognizing, hey, we have a bubble, and obviously in the hunt also had a bubble. Solafide kind of baited that fight a little bit, Hodzic. You broke that down perfectly and forced Rogue to push up and forced the fight in the 3 versus 3. Solafide, from that point on, was able to just kind of third party, stay alive from afar, get some poke in, and secure a fight. Do you think that was intentional from Solafide to kind of drop that bubble and at least bait or make Rogue? In this one is Solafide with a 14-kill game. So yes, they may have had a little cleanup crew action to win it, but a massive performance. Right behind them was On the Hunt with 11 kills. So again, North America proves why they are the most aggressive region in competitive Apex with another 25-kill game between the top two teams. Rogue top, however, it was Rogue who was able, with 2 solid and consistent performances, to leapfrog Complexity and secure themselves a first-place finish with 35 points. Complexity right behind them with 31. Solafide with 27. On the Hunt right behind with 23. Then 21, then 20. And then a massive drop all the way to TSM in 7th place with 10. Look how top-heavy that is, Hot.
I can say a fantastic job, as I was trolled repeatedly by multiple people in Discord, but it is great to have you back in the action, as we lost, not only did we lose you, but we also lost a few squads, but we're also taking a look once again at Fishers here. Teen, Crust, and Rock are also trying to get some damage here onto the roof, as well as they're going to make this push together past the dome and get some early damage.
Yeah, the EVA shots aren't quite connecting at the moment, but the battle will go down, and they're just trying to basically force anyone off the top that they possibly can. The fight is continuing to go down, and it looks like a couple of players might drop, but the defensive bombardment is going to keep them safe for now. It looks like both teams might be backing off for just a second and not trying to get too aggressive in that particular instance.
Teen's actually going to queue out because he found himself in a 1v2 momentarily there and needs to make sure to stay alive. He's able to get away, as we see Cac and Mercy only. There also might... The dome, of course, is going to help that revive, but they need to move quickly here, as we do have 9 seconds on this close. So now back over to the Liquid side. You saw them in the south earlier. Now Casper needs to fly through because he's taken some heavy hits. Flanker as well. He and Nocturnal will also make it out, but Nocturnal also forced to queue as well. There absolutely is, and Liquid has done well with the real estate that they've had. Just simply the ability to sit back and play the little bit of lower ground and establish perimeter there as well. I can hear you, and we're going to go with it. I think I got you here, but take a look. Things getting interesting here in Overlook. Tell me, what are you seeing here in terms of, aside from the fact of every single building and rock being held in Overlook right now?
Yeah, this is still surprising. I would not have expected this many teams alive, this many players alive. Prodigy Ace is trying to have his last stand outside in the ring, will finally go down, but it's Solafide who has found their footing here in the circle right now. TSM, though, had a great building. They're going to be able to reset. It's going to be Imperial Hal pushing forward with a great burst.
Great break. They're also going to push in with that wing. He's going to get that knock on Cac. Now Hal is able to queue out. You also saw down bottom left, Reps also did get that bat off to get that Evo a little bit more. Took some later damage, but now jumps in, and Reps not afraid to get into the fight. Hal's going to be forced to swap. Will swap to a purple as well. Jumping straight down, going to try to finish the Watt with the wing. It's another great break for him. 7 squads left, and Hal and Reps playing fierce.
Yeah, Albralele will get knocked here, though, and it looks like their thirst is not going to be stopped as Albralele gets finished off here. Liquid, though, this is the position they want to be in. They know they have a general idea of where TSM is, and I want to see them try and focus them down now as the rotation comes out. It's going to be Shinny PC, Huge Gorilla playing in the house underneath them. Liquid, they've got this bird's eye view of every other team underneath them right now, but they're not able to secure any of these kill points right now, which is drastic, which is what they really need.
Absolutely, they need every point they can get here, not just those placing points, but like you said, the KP as well. They're still going to hold and try to get as many of these final kills as they can. Desperately wishing they might have a Thermite to hit that fence as well, but still PKs are going to be out. That Scout coming into way later game than you might expect for the Liquid side, but it's going to be a 301 in the hands of Flanker, along with a PK as well. Multiple PKs for Liquid on the rooftop. Now Shiny PC, Gorilla, and Yuban also trying to make something happen here in this game. Now 4 squads left, 10 players total.
The most important part is that Liquid have this high ground position. They're a full squad, and they know how to close out these games when they do have the advantageous position.
It's fantastic. The trolling is getting too intense. You and I are closing it out. I'm making the call here. Casper now taking a look here. He's able to get a nice break there with that PK. Actually, Nocturnal forced to not only hit a bat, but also hit a few heals as well. And now, with 4 seconds, things are going to come down to the bottom. Hal gets some great shots there out of his PK as well. Needs to be careful around these doors. Has to shoot out a few fences before he pushes out as well. Reps with some good damage, but they haven't picked up just yet. Another kill comes in, and several kills coming in for TSM. It's absolute insanity. They're now moving in here. Hal grabs the kill leader position. They're jumping in. PKs are out. Liquid should be able to close this out on pure numbers. Let's see. Casper picks up one extra. I think that's going to be it. We are going to see a Liquid win in our game number 3, and they are back on top.
Well done. We saw them armor swapping left, right, and center there as well. I mean, great plays come through from TSM. You know, Hatsik, you've competed against them, as we actually are also watching Team Liquid here in the final moments of this against TSM with ultimate high ground in a great position. You obviously know this Team Liquid squad incredibly well. As we're watching Team Liquid in high ground, break down these final moments for me as we saw Team Liquid ultimately come out on top of the first place finish over TSM.
Absolutely. I mean, right now, all they're looking for is any little bit of pick damage they can get. Being the team on the roof, they're going to be the last team that people look at. So they want to be the last team down on the ground, and then just kind of basically clean up everybody here.
Towards the thermal station, so they definitely don't have priority. They should be playing toward the edges, as we can see now that we're on board with Team Liquid. They've got the info. They know where they need to be.
They've got the shots too. Casper with a couple of big, deep shots.
And now as we're back on board, I like this position coming out from Skirt. They were able to realize it early on. They were able to get the top of this tower, and this is one of the best positions you can have, especially when you're playing with something like the charge rifle. You're trying to pick up those kill points as Pal gets another knock, taking down Johnny.
Yeah, that's a big couple of kills as well, and you can see just how impactful it is, and when you're charging up an Evo shield, how effective that can be.
Okay. At the very least, though, they've got Reps and they've got Hal alive. And if you're going to try and defend the building, these are the two players that you desperately want to have, right? Your Watson to set up the traps and, at the very least, try and dissuade people from pushing. That's a good way to dissuade them, as Hal just lays into Casper. Zeratricky will finish him off.
Just was able to finish them off in that top finish in that final 3 circle just last game. So they're going to be getting a little bit of, I guess, revenge there as you head over to...
up against On the Hunt here. This would be a huge pick-off if they can take them out of the running. On the Hunt currently sitting on 7th here.
Yeah, and that's a big one as well. Solafide in the top of it all, and that is one of those things that you have to say you do not want to give up, even though you're still sitting pretty. Wildebeest with a nice trade, but Solafide Pride, he finds one right back as well. The shotgun's staring at each other in the face, and it's the R99 damage that's going to do the deed for Mental, and it does seem like if you look back at it, Solafide will survive. Metro finds Mental, and oh boy, Solafide not out yet.
Calculated risk, and this is a huge payoff. They shut down one of the teams in the top 10. They pick up 3 extra kill points, but they barely survive. Luckily for them, again, it's a calculated aggression. They understand they're on the outskirts, but now we're on board with Rebels. 6 turns and a notch here. I believe bow down for fighting for the northern side choke point.
And that is a great spot to hold. You're just right on that edge, and you've got this rock to play off of. High ground as well. You're going to see Nock try to get up there. He's got only 38 bullets in his totality. So he's going to have to back off there with now only 14. And he may just have to get some from Turns, who has plenty. But the Mastiff is coming up. That long-range damage, it doesn't look like a shotgun should be able to hit that hard from there, but it does. That's why it's a care package weapon. And Zeratricky just going to actually use his zipline to get up there, and that's going to be just in circle as well.
Yeah, that dog is definitely more bites than bark. As he gets that knock, now they're going to push forward with it. Zeratricky, the first one in, got one knock, try to finish them off.
And he tried to go for a nice little grapple to just change positions and maybe fake him out, but the Watson fence was so perfectly deployed. It looks like we may see just a gold knockdown shield as well. That's the blue, and so they're just looking to finish off opponents. But there's the charge rifle from a distance. Oh, Fat Fruit Ninja, he's got like 1 HP, but he's gonna get the Phoenix kit off. And that is enough for Risuki to just go through the portal. And, you know, this is one of those things where you sometimes you take your chances, because there's no way you can win this without your teammates. And, you know, kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't type of situation. Vaughn has the Devotion and a Peacekeeper, and that's the best close quarters DPS you could probably hope to have. But he still doesn't have time for the res. Getting pressured from left and from right, and it looks like he's just going to lose one. So many Arc Stars, no Watson down to be able to hold it, and he's just going to go into his little cubby that he's created and try to heal up. 1 shield cell remaining, that's going to do it. And he's got to find a way to get out. The rats attack.
It looks like he got a quick armor swap off onto the blue, though, but now it's going to be Team Skirt just poking away at him, but I don't think they got the kill. It's going to be Reps to pick that one up.
And look at this, Rocker Apex. And Teen, of course, with that Evo shield, and he's going to just try to push forward just a little bit. The Fishers moving in, and of course grabs the wingman, goes back, takes the portal. Crust going to set up the interception pylon, and there's a defensive bombardment to protect it. Excuse me, a dome shield to protect it just for now. As the scouts start raining in, blue shield cracked as well on the rotation, and they continue to drop those havoc damage, but Liquid Flanker gets close and he gets down.
Yeah, Nocturnal just needs to try and rat this out now, as they were caught up between two full squads there. THC also on the overlook. They have this good angle to try and punish, I believe, Team Skirt on the other end. Good damage coming across from Phony.
And that is solid stuff as well. And you've got a Gibraltar with an Evo shield, probably the best character aside from a lifeline to have it. He's got the extra 15% damage to make use of the extra 25 health. And so it's going to be even harder to get through that extra. In this lobby, haven't had a lot of success, but right now they are sitting very pretty. And we are top 5, and it is Lou who goes down. So he will not claim top 5 for complexity. A very good job for them. First place team will no longer gain any points as THE starts to fire back and rotate here to the left.
The craziest thing just happened, though. Rogue got dropped on by the entirety of Team Skirts, and now it looks like THC are going to try and clean this up, take out TSM. You really want to take this fight. It's Scissors on the high ground there as Breath was able to answer back, taking out Phony, and they're going to be able to do it, clean that up.
As a result of Game 4, you see it, we mentioned it, Happy Campers with 8 kills, first place, 12 points, that's a total of 20. Skirt, Madness & Co. with an 8-kill game and a solid finish as well. They get 15 points. Rogue, another solid performance. Honestly, Rogue has been the most consistent team throughout. They get 14, and here it is. It is Rogue in first place with 50 points, but right behind them are Solafide and TSM, are number 1 and 2 placing teams in the online tournament number 2, as it looks like they are neck and neck with 47 points apiece. Finally, a pretty big drop-off to number 4 and 38.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about the ridge choke, the ridge, and all of really northern sorting as a difficult part to be in the map any time of game, but especially trying to get a respawn at this point in the game would be very difficult here. Now take a look at Rocker and a little bit of PK damage there, and also trying to see if he can wrap a kill around here. Teen taking a whole lot of damage but gets a heal off. It's going to be Crust was the one needing the heal as well. More PK shots coming in now. Actually has to go 301 from the hip, and we'll get that first one, but it's actually going to be Swoop who pushes in on Rocker. Now it's going to be up to Teen to try to stay alive, and is able to get that. That's going to be big.
Yeah, Snipe Down with the equivalent of running from your bathroom to your bedroom and realizing that the curtains are open and the neighbors are watching. So you got to be very, very careful that you get away with no armor or nothing to work with. But back to the battles that are going on at the moment, and this one's going on. Yeah, and if there's one team who can make up a lead, it's this team, Complexity. They're 13 points behind the leaders Rogue before this game did get underway, but as we know, the slaying ability, the mechanical ability is, it's pretty much unmatched by a lot of players. It's a case of if they can be consistent across a series, as we see Complexity now once again in a battle. And I might have spoken too soon here because Lou's having to back down. Monsoon's been taken down in this battle as well, and it looks like Monsoon is going to be taken out of the game, and now it's Complexity who are down to 2 men. Can they get Monsoon, the kind of spiritual leader and the spark that they have in their game, back in the same way that TSM and Rogue have done successfully?
Yeah, going to be very, very tricky, as we also see Monsoon and crew getting taken down here. They're going to have to be very careful. And Teen is the only one alive here still now for the Fishers side, and now more shots going to be coming in. Looks like that should be all she wrote. Yes, indeed, that will be Fishers out as well. 16 squads left. TSM getting so excited about that, of course, as they thought for a second that Rogue might be full kill. Now only finding out that that was one player that went all the way down. That's going to be Sweet that did get thirsted. Now Snipe Down goes down, now dropped as well. Snipe Down, the last player, trying to make something here. We'll see exactly what they're going to be able to do. Now Snipe Down will go down as well. Now taking a look, somehow Bow Down is the team getting a little bit of extra kills there as well. Here on board with 6 as well as Knocked.
Yeah, all of Rogue dropping is going to be massive. Reason being, they were the team that were top of the table. That means that point gap can be taken down step by all of the teams that are chasing. There is now a target to be hit, and Rogue were that target. Now that they're potentially out of this game, that leaves it open for the likes of TSM, for the likes of Solafide to potentially move through here with a few kill points and a decent placement. This is going to be tight, but we're going to probably have someone taking over that first spot. Casper being brought back into the game. The only issue for them is the fact that they got to be pressured from all sides, but they do have a nice center zone position potentially here. I think that stairwell might just about be in the circle. So they can play a little bit slower. They can wait for people to push them. But with the only essentially one edge of the building in right now, there's going to be teams desperately contesting for this space. A floor, a corner, anything they can get hold of as that ring closes is going to be absolutely vital. And one team who are set up with a perfect line of sight on that end circle, it is Deja Vu. It is pretty much the same zone that TSM won their last online tournament for. It's all happening again here. TSM, they're in a great position.
We're also seeing that TSM may not even need first-tier points-wise, which certainly makes sense in order to claim this tournament. We won't call that just yet, though, because a lot of teams are going to try to shut them down. Here goes the bombardment along that fence coming out from the Happy Campers.
Yeah, and one thing to keep in note as well, I know I keep mentioning it, but it's going to be such a game changer as we see How take the opportunity to set that portal for their move. How has the Mastiff. He has the game in his hands when it comes to a close quarter battles. If they can move to the back of that little fence you see in front of them, the concrete fence, they can get the Watson ult down, then there's a real opportunity here for TSM to potentially put in a game-winning performance.
Here we go, ult is down. Hal's the first to drop to Aberlele as well. Reps goes down at TSM. They are out. They are out. They're our first team to exit. They might have made the call too soon. TSM is our first to go from the top 8 just like that. And history would not repeat itself. The rest of the lobby not allowing that same exact play to take the tournament. That will not be the story here. We'll have to see how the points go, but Happy Camper still raining down death here as 7 squads are still left in the game after that close. Absolutely. Now I'm also going to...
For the Happy Campers sat up on this high ground, as far as this singular game is concerned, they're in a great spot, but they're going to have to make a move pretty soon.
Absolutely. Now I'm also going to pull up our overall standings here on a second monitor just to keep an eye on exactly who's going to be in the running. Happy Camper still up top now with only 2 players left, but still on white armor, just still going to try to lay this down. Flanker actually gets down in the feed. That's going to be a pretty important moment just because, as we said, Team Liquid was still in the potential running to take this. They would need a lot of the remaining KP and placement points as well to do it, but certainly within the realm of possibilities, lots of revives happening, and all of Team Liquid ready to go on the home stretch here. And this is going to be one heck of a final pin circle now with 36 seconds left on the close.
I just wonder if there's enough points left in the game here for Team Liquid to pull off a miraculous somehow steal of a championship here from the likes of TSM, from the likes of THC, from all of these teams that have been in such tight contention for the majority of this tournament. And it really does come down to decision making at this point. I'm not sure that any of the teams outside of Team Liquid are in position to win this, so we've got to really, in my opinion, focus on what Team Liquid do in this final circle.
Liquid might be one of the only teams that's able to do it right now. I believe they're certainly the only team within the top 6 that are in our final mix. And now, as it's going to be Madness setting that free portal, he needs to be going, and everyone is going to be converging here. This is going to be absolute chaos. Actually, Team Liquid going down. Several players in the feed need to be careful here, and it's going to be absolutely nutty. Zeri Tricky goes down. Raiders goes down as well, and now some zipping up top will maybe be the difference maker. Nades go down for the Happy Campers. Can Happy Campers close it out? Bombardment coming down as well. Scissor's the only player alive for his team. I think he's going to do it now. Just checking. No, it's a 1v1, not looking for a shield. Instead, looking for this Wraith to try to see if he can hit this now. And I think in a moment, this should be a Happy Campers victory, unless that Wraith is still able to come back through. Yes, the Wraith does come through now, just looking for where the gold res is. That's exactly where the gold res shield will be. It's going to be Scissors of Happy Campers, if I'm not mistaken, closing it out if he can get back through. And we'll see. Absolute Madness. No, I don't think that Scissors is going to get it. And we'll have to see. We didn't have the POV on the ops exactly who is going to take victory. We're going to wait.
All right. I mean, you're looking at Smiles' team right here. I believe they're getting ready. I mean, they're actually in this really strong spot, despite them being on the low ground, which you would obviously most often think that, you know, that's not a great spot. Watson can turn low ground into a really, really advantageous spot with her gen because it can't get naded out, and you just wait for people to jump down, and they're basically free targets. And you see, they're not even, no one's even looking at them right now. Bronzy's just picking shots at everybody left and right. Just running in, trying to get whatever they can, killing whoever they can. And I believe it was them that eventually went down. All of them went down with the gold shield. And then, which unfortunately, Scissors was not able to capitalize on Smiles' golden knockdown shield. But funny, it would be rather funny to see it from their perspective. If only we could hear their comms too. They're probably just as confused as we were.
Yeah, Nunin just continuously going through this portal here. Finally, this is the moment where he got taken out. So now, from their POV, game's over, game's lost. He's about to get taken out, and here it goes. Whoop! Through the portal. You better believe they were screaming on top of the world, just trying to survive right now. Absolute chaos in this scenario. And in the end, some way, somehow, Smile ends up on top. Didn't even matter, though. They would have gotten first place regardless in overall points, as they turned up in a massive way with 8 kills plus 12 points for first place finish. Happy Campers finishes with 14 points. Could have been 17, and that could have been the difference. And take a look here. In the end, you can hardly believe it, but based on the shakeup, Rogue stays on top and takes home a championship victory in online tournament number 4. Congratulations to the Rogue organization for winning their first Apex Legends major online tournament and event over TSM, who gets a second place finish right behind them. What a finish and what a day it was, Hotzik.